In this video, I'm going to do a lead magnet critique of a lead magnet that I actually think is pretty good. Of course, there are lots of not so good lead magnets out there, and I'm not going to critique those because that could take, an hour or longer. But I think this is a pretty good lead magnet, and I'm just going to go through it from top to bottom, telling you what I like and what I don't like, or what I think is good and what I don't think is good, and where we can make some improvements. Now, I'm not going to make any improvements on the fly here, but I certainly could. I'm using a tool called Lead Creator, and this is a template or a lead magnet that I was able to import as part of my membership, as part of my paid membership, and I haven't changed it at all, although I could change it using the editor right here. It's very simple to do. Anywhere you see text, you can change it. You can delete it, you can highlight it, you can bold it, italicize it, change the font, etc. I can add images in here, all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to point out that this looks like a lead magnet or landing page that was created at the heyday of the beginning of the internet. It's basically a white foreground on a different colored background. In this case, it's like a sky blue background. And I like it because it draws attention to the text. It draws attention to the white. There's a lot of white space here, and that's helpful in getting your reader from, the headline to the story to the benefits to the call to action, etc. Basically takes them from top to bottom, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to first start off by saying that I think the yellow highlighting and the underline under magnetic marketing really captures your attention. It draws the eye. Words in the headline, and the headline is the most important part of any lead magnet. The use of the words magnetic, laser focused, unshakable loyalty creates curiosity and perceived value. The number 5 gives some specificity to the lead magnet. It increases the appeal, and this benefit clearly conveys the benefit, deep connection and loyalty, right? Now, what can we do to improve it? We could add urgency to increase action. We could say something like magnetic marketing, 5 proven strategies to instantly connect with your audience and build unshakable loyalty today, right? You could also consider testing a shorter version that says something like 5 magnetic marketing strategies to connect and convert. Moving on to the subheadline. It's not clear that this is an actual subheadline, and I'm talking about right here. To make it clearer, you could put it in say an H2 or an H3, 4, 5 font. You could italicize it. But essentially, the whole idea about the headline and the subheadline is to get the reader to move from one piece to the next piece, from top to bottom, or from higher to lower. You essentially want the reader to move forward through the document. All right. So I'm going to say what works here. Relatable. It's a relatable and emotional hook. It sets up the pain point effectively. What's the pain point? You're standing in a room full of people you desperately want to connect with. You've rehearsed your pitch, fine-tuned your messaging, and even dressed the part. But when you start talking, it's like no one is listening. Eyes glaze over. They nod politely and move on. It's frustrating, right? And that's exactly what happens online when your audience doesn't feel a genuine connection with you. It's not that your product or message isn't good. It's that it isn't hitting, right? Does that make sense? All right. So the next thing you want to do is move on down to the next heading. This is probably an H2, but let's go check. Yeah, it's an H2. See right here? And you can change that to an H3. It doesn't really matter, but it's nice, big, and bold. So let's just keep going, right? So let's talk about what works here in this next section and maybe what could be improved. So what works is They're strong, directive language that creates urgency and confidence, right? I like the italics. Um, I would probably bold this, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can flip the script. And again, it's super easy. Find that part of the section, highlight it or select it, and then click on the bold. See the difference? You're not going to see the change on the fly, but I could make the change on the fly just by clicking update published version and then going to view, and then you see how this is bolded now, right? You could change the words here that says, instead of stop guessing and start connecting, you could change it to stop guessing and start connecting, used by 10,000 plus businesses to drive engagement. That gives it a little bit more specificity, a little bit more concreteness, etc. Let's move down to the bullets, because people read bullets. People look for bullets in landing pages and squeeze pages and lead magnets. So what's here and what's interesting, right? So this is all good. Each bullet focuses on a specific transformation or benefit, and each uses an action-driven phrasing that paints a clear picture. What you could do is you could add icons or emojis. You could consider rearranging with the most compelling point first, and that's all dependent upon what you think your audience wants. So you could do something like a checkbox and then the first bullet point could be master the exact words your audience needs to hear to take action. Your second bullet point could be build unshakable trust with micro wins that lead to big results. Stuff like that, right? Now let's move on down to the next, point here, part 1. So we're talking about 5 hyper-focused ways to connect with your audience. Speak their language. This is nice, big, bold. I like that. We could use examples like the fitness coach. Let's say you're a fitness coach targeting bodybuilders. You'll use words like bulking, cutting, and progressive overload. These terms signal that you're in their world. But if you're talking to busy parents, those terms mean nothing, obviously. For them, it's about losing baby weight, getting in shape without the gym, or quick workouts during nap time. The wrong language doesn't just fail to resonate, it actively creates distance, right? So keep doing this. Moving on down, part 2, solve micro problems, not big ones. It's very important for a lead magnet to solve an immediate problem, not solve all world problems, not to create, or to end world hunger, but it's to solve one specific problem that's easily solved, may not be obvious, but it's easily solved. It can be solved in a finite period of time. It could be 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, right? How to get out of debt in 6 months is very solvable and relatable. That may be a bigger problem than a micro problem, but you see what I'm saying. And generally speaking, I like the why smaller is better. Because when you do something like a big, hairy, goal, like transform your business, like what is said right here, it sounds overwhelming, because it is. And it's also vague. And your audience doesn't know you. So what you need to do is you need to deliver to them a minor win, not a big win, a minor win, so that they can start knowing, liking, and trusting you, right? So let's just keep going. Part 3, show, don't just tell. I like that. Part 4, be unapologetically polarizing. What's the fastest way to lose an audience? You try to please everyone. The fastest way to build a loyal following? Take a stance so clear it draws a line in the sand. When you're polarizing, you repel the wrong people and attract the right ones with magnetic force. Then it talks about the problem with playing it safe, gives an example. All this is great. Give more than expected. So when I talk about delivering or promising that one solution to one problem. Do that and then give a little bit more. Over deliver. It's easy to under promise and over deliver. It's very hard and very not productive to over promise and then under deliver, right? You don't want to do that. So let's just keep going. Connection is your superpower. Now here's where you would put in a call to action. There's not really a good call to action here. There's not a button. There's not anything obvious here, but it does say, now it's your turn. Pick one of these strategies and implement it today. Start small, measure the impact, and build from there. So I would go back to the editor and I would go all the way to the bottom. And I think all these parts are great. What I think needs improvement here is there's not even any bolded text. I would do at the very least, I would do something like that, and maybe I would even, highlight it like that, so that if somebody's just scanning this is what they're going to do. They're going to go, oh, magnetic marketing, laser focused strategies, deeply connect. Cool. Stop guessing and start connecting. Here's what I'm going to learn. I'd probably make this a little bit bigger, right? I'd make that a H2. Speak their language. Yeah, I like it. Solve micro problems, not big problems. Don't don't just tell. Be polarizing. Give more than expected, right? Over deliver. And then connection is your superpower. Well, okay, but what does that mean? Here's the bottom line. Connection isn't a guessing game, it's a skill. Blah, blah, blah. But if I'm scanning this, I'm gonna find this highlight and say, now it's your turn. Pick one of these strategies, one of the 5, and implement it today. Start small, measure the impact, and build from there. The faster you act, the sooner you'll see results. Your audience is waiting. It's time to connect. Let's go. So what I would do here is I would put in an actual, action that I want somebody to take. What do I want somebody to do? I would say download your free magnetic marketing strategy guide now and start building unshakable loyalty today. I would have a PDF here or a lead magnet or some giveaway, some freebie that somebody could just take and act on right away. I would use a button. I would say, grab your free guide now, and then I would deliver that. So not only am I teaching and showing in this text, I would deliver something of value in return for their email that would help them build whatever it is they're trying to build. Does that make sense? Hopefully this critique helps. Just remember that the key parts of a lead magnet are the headline, the story, the bullet points, the call to action, and pay attention to headings and bolding and highlighting and different sizes of fonts. All of those things are visual cues and clues that get your reader to read from top to bottom. Ultimately, at the end of the day, all you really care about is getting them to the bottom where the call to action button is, and they click on the button, enter their name and email, and you deliver the goods, right? That's ultimately what you want to do. But as a writer, I find it very important that people actually read what I write. So I want them to read what I write. But if a lot of people are scanners, and they'll just go to the bottom, they'll read the headline, look at a couple bullet points, couple headings, go to the bottom, click the button if it's compelling enough. If it's not, they might go back up and read the whole thing, or they might just go, yeah, not for me. And that's going to happen. So just know that this is a numbers game as well. Out of 100 people that get to your landing page, let's just say 20 people read it or act on it, and they'll click the button and they'll either enter their email or they won't. And, just know that everything you do is a process of improvement, iteration. If you get 20% to act on this, maybe you can get 30% to act on the next one, 40% to act on the next one, 43% to act on the one after that. That's really what you're going for. All right. Talk to you in the next video.